Congressman Jim Jordan joins us to talk about everything going on. Congressman, always appreciate you making the time.
You bet, Buck. Good to be with you.
Can we start? You know what? I want to have you react to this, okay? Over at CNBC, this is Cut 8. They are freaking out right now, and I wanted to let you tell everybody how you're feeling about this. But let's play Cut 8. This is the situation of the tariff assessment over there. Play it.
The market reaction after hours, I've never seen anything like it. This, I think fair to say, is worse than the worst case scenario of the tariffs that many in the market expected the president to impose. And there's some question of how the administration calculated the percentages that they're responding to in each of these cases. Are they adding in value-added taxes? He talked about non-tariff barriers as well. So I think while many were hoping that this would eliminate uncertainty, there's going to be more uncertainty in the market.
Worse than the worst case scenario, Jim. What do you make of it?
Everyone needs to relax. And you know the thing I keep coming up with, all these foreign countries saying they're going to do this. If tariff, and talking about how bad it is that President Trump does this. If tariffs are so bad, why don't they just get rid of the tariffs they have on all our products? I mean, that's pretty basic. And frankly, that's the president's argument. Why don't you show us the respect we've shown you? They won't do that. He's saying, okay, we're tired of taking it on the chin. We're tired of manufacturing, leaving this country. I mean, my dad was a union worker for General Motors in Dayton, Ohio. There used to be several plants, GM plants in Dayton. Now there's not. And the auto worker who stood up yesterday with the president, I thought the president's remarks were great. The auto worker who stood up, I think, spoke for so many middle class, working class families. Enough of this. Let's try something different. Let's tell them to quit sticking it to us, and let's look out for the interests of the American family, the American worker, and the American economy.
So you have faith that this should play out and that the president, I mean, how much of this in your mind do you think is just the ongoing negotiation of it before we can even know what it is that's going to be the final dispensation of where these different tariff numbers are?
Yeah. No, I think that's a good point, and we all know that the president is a great negotiator. I think he believes in tariffs. He certainly said that. He's used tariffs in the past. He used them in his first term. I know he used it on steel, and it benefited manufacturing in our great state, particularly the Whirlpool facility in our one of the many Whirlpool facilities in our state. So this shouldn't be a big surprise. He's never had to this degree, but like anything worth accomplishing, anything worth really achieving, there's always some effort and some discipline and some toughness involved with getting there. That's just the way life works. I don't think this is any different, but I think the American people see where the president wants to go. Certainly working class people see where he wants to go. They know what's happened to manufacturing, and I think there's a trust level there with the president that it'll be maybe some difficult times here for a while, but I think we get through it and we come out better on the other side, and that's the whole point.
Something else that caught my attention, Congressman, you are the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, and you can speak to this. Internal FBI chat logs showing that the FBI imposed a gag order about the New York Post story on the Hunter Biden laptop the day it came out. Oh, my. Give us these details.
Well, first of all, we knew this from a deposition, but this is the first time we've got the document. So God bless the FBI. This is the night and day difference between what we had before and what we have under Kash Patel and Pam Bondi at the Justice Department. But we had Mr. Brady Olson, one of the guys mentioned in his chat that you can see it. But he told us, he said, in a meeting that these regular meetings that took place where the FBI would go talk to big tech in the run up to the 2020 presidential election, and they were prepping them on there might be an information operation. It might come from a foreign country. They were prepping them on what they knew could happen because they had the laptop and they knew it was real. That one of these meetings, the day that this comes up, is October 14th. It comes up and someone says, is the laptop real? And the FBI confirms it. Someone spoke out of turn. They quickly get together, get their story straight, and from that point on, they say no comment. And then they even have in the chat, the one that stuck out with me was where they said, Twitter is treating this story as disinformation. They treat it as disinformation because you prepped them for that and you knew it was real. This just demonstrates what we knew all along, that the FBI wasn't being square with the American people.
Now, how confident are you in the ability for that entity to be reformed? I know you have a lot of faith in Director Patel and Deputy Director Bongino, but they're taking a it's an unwieldy and problematic operation they're taking over. What are some of the things that you think need to get done over there, not only to clean house internally, but to help restore faith for the American people in a federal law enforcement institution that we need to function at the highest level and without partisan agenda?
Yeah, no, already two things have happened. One, they're beginning to move people out of a third of the FBI agents were in D.C. area. Well, that's not where all the crime takes place. I mean, enough takes place in this area, but so they're moving them out and focusing more on going after traditional bad guys versus this surveillance on American citizens. So that's one huge step in the right direction that Director Patel and Dana put into place. Second, I just know what we've gotten in the first few weeks that he's been running the FBI. We sent 7 subpoenas over there 5 weeks ago. The response, the documents we're getting like I said, it's night and day compared to what we got under Chris Wray, what we got under Merrick Garland at the Justice Department. So there's just 2 examples of where they're already changing how that place operates, saying we're going to get the truth, we're going to get the facts to the American people, answer the questions that they have, and we're going to put our agents on actually stopping the crime activity that we traditionally associate with the FBI, mafia, organized crime, money laundering, all those things versus, again, spying on the American people.
We're talking to Congressman Jim Jordan from Ohio. And one thing that I think, Congressman, that is interesting to see how President Trump is staying on this and not moving the agenda very much from what he said it would be. The freeze on funding to Maine. Remember, there was that little back and forth with the governor of Maine and the president, where she was talking tough about, I'll see you in court, and he was like, "Let's do it. I love court. Let's go to court." And now the Trump administration has freezed funding to Maine for letting trans athletes compete against girls, biological men or teenagers competing against girls. It feels like promise made, promise kept on this one. What do you make of it?
Yeah. No, this is why the American people appreciate the president. I say this all the time. We make the job too complicated. What'd you tell the voters you were going to do when you ran for it? If they elect you, do what you said. And this is president. He told it. It's not like he told us there wasn't going to be a DOGE effort. It's not like he told us he wasn't going to run that. It's not like he told us he wasn't for tariffs and he was tired of being taken advantage by other countries. And it's not like he told us that he thinks like the vast majority of Americans that guys shouldn't be competing against girls in sports. I mean, so he's doing what he said, and I think so many Americans just appreciate that. And he says this all the time, and we've talked about this, Buck, but like we're the party of common sense. It's common sense to have a border. The left's the party of crazy. It's crazy not to have a border. It's crazy to say boys should compete against girls in sports. It's crazy to take a plane and a judge say, turn the plane around, bring the bad guys back here who are illegal, part of a organized terrorist organization, the most dangerous gang on the planet, turn that plane around and bring it back. That's crazy. So the president is all for doing the common sense things that he campaigned on, and one of them was the issue with the governor of Maine, and he's sticking to it, and God bless him for doing it.
Did you see this female fencer who took a knee instead of competing against a male opponent? She was disqualified for this, and I just think that one, it's a brave thing to do for this young woman to do it, but also it's the right thing to do. Women should not subject themselves to this anymore. There should be, I think, a campaign to opt. I mean, you were a college athlete. There should be a campaign to opt out.
Yeah, I agree. And God bless Riley Gaines and what she's done. The president's executive order that he signed about 5-6 weeks ago. But you need people who are courageous, like this young lady who stood up, or I guess in this situation she knelt down and said, "No, we're not going there." And Riley Gaines, who started this, and others, everyone instinctively knows this is wrong. Particularly parents of young ladies who are competing in sports, who are working hard. We had 2 daughters, both were athletes. It's just ridiculous, and everyone gets it. But if the left wants to defend it from a political standpoint, I don't think it helps them. Just one more example of the crazy positions the left now takes.
Do you think that, and I'm just asking for your sense of it, right? I know that you can't really know, but I'm curious what your perception is of it. Among Democrat House colleagues, when you see how they have to take, or what positions they take on this issue of the transgender sports stuff, is it more that they actually believe this, or more that they're just afraid of the crazies within their party who think that this is the new civil rights crusade?
It's the latter. It's the old some politicians when they get asked a question, it's yeah, I'm for that. Next question, please. They just want to move on. They just want to it's kind of ignore it. But I think it's more the latter. Now there are some. I mean, I always say not all Democrats are crazy, but the left that controls their party is, and that's where the energy is in the party. It's the radical left, and they're driving this stuff. So I think many of them just kind of put their head down and move on, don't want to deal with it, and hope the left leaves them alone. But there are some who truly believe you should just let it happen, which I'm like, that's crazy.
It is crazy is not that is the only way to describe it. It is a non-sane, insane thing to believe, and the fact that this continues on is just, I think the Democrat Party has to carry this around, and they're not gonna be able to win this issue because they're wrong and because they're lying. Well, usually now we'd get to like Clay's out today. He's playing golf, as one does. He's having a good time. So usually we'd ask you a sports question. I actually have a nerd question for you, but you know how the budget process and the money stuff works. You mentioned DOGE. So sorry, usually now we'd have some fun, but instead I'm like, let's take out the calculators.
By the way, though, you should go with us next time we go. You should go to the NCAA wrestling with us next. There were some boring matches early, but the heavyweight match was. So you got to come with us next time. Clay had.
I would love to.
We got. You got to come with us next time we go to that. It's a fun time.
My primary school in New York, I actually wrote about this on X, used to require everybody in the winter season for sports to do wrestling, and I thought it was a great. It was great. No, I mean it. It was great.
Yeah.
Like it was. No. We all learned the basics, and we had tournaments, and then Jim Classic, of course, they got rid of it about 10 years after I graduated because people thought it was too violent. There was this whole, the parents, wrestling was too violent, Anyway, it was kind of crazy. Okay, wait, my nerd question. Yes, I'd love to go to the wrestling. Nerd question, though, important. You mentioned DOGE. I see all this stuff about the cuts. How much of this is Trump can cut as executive chief, and how much of it is DOGE identifying where there should be cuts that you and your colleagues in Congress are going to have to figure out in the budget so the money actually gets taken out?
Again, it's more the latter. We're going to have to do a rescission package. Now, the way the rescission package works is the White House sends it to Capitol Hill, so it's different. Normally, all spending and taxing bills obviously start in the Congress, specifically in the House. Under the Constitution, taxing and spending is the House of Representatives, the body close to the people. But this is something where you want to rescind money that's already been appropriated. The White House sends it to Capitol Hill and says, these things are ridiculous. Can you rescind this? And the beauty of a rescission package is you only need 50 votes in the Senate. You don't need to get to the supermajority of 60. So we're waiting for that package. We've been pushing and urging the White House to get us that package. I would have loved to have done this in steps even. Like last week, it would have been nice to have a bill that simply said, no more money goes to NPR. You may have followed this, the lady, Ms. Maher, who testified, the CEO. She was terrible. She said it was 87-0. 87 Democrat editors at NPR in the D.C. area, 0 Republicans, according to one of their journalists who worked there 25 years, who was an award-winning journalist. He did that research and gave that data. And I asked her a question. I said, are you guys unbiased? She goes, we're unbiased. I said, it's 87-0. It's not 44-43. It's 87-0. But they're still up. I mean, it was ridiculous. So it would have been nice to have a rescission package on that. Let's just get rid of NPR. Start there and then just keep building. But I think the White House is going to put it together in a bigger package. They send it to us, and then we have a vote.
Any sense on when that might be, just roughly time-wise?
I am hoping sooner rather than – I mean, we keep urging the White House to do it. I know some of my colleagues have talked to Russ Vogt and OMB. So we want it as soon as possible. I don't know exactly when that's in, but they keep telling us they're working on it, putting it together.
Congressman Jim Jordan. Oh, wait, one, because Clay would want me to ask you this. Who's going to win the March Madness thing?
I followed a little last week when it was Sweet 16, Elite 8. I kind of like the Florida team, but I mean they're all
there. We go.
Who knows? Yeah, I kind of like.
You're joining the Clay and Buck choice. We both picked Florida to win, so there we go. Perfect.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I kind of liked them when I watched them play, and I was kind of hoping for Michigan State, kind of sticking with the Big Ten.
My wife is a Gator, and I have a baby coming next week. So, happy wife, especially happy wife with new baby. So we go Gators around this house for sure.
Okay.
Congressman Jim Jordan, always appreciate you, man. Thanks for making the time.
You bet, Buck. Take care.
All right. It is a new month, everybody, and a lot going on, right? But how much is your day-to-day as healthy as it could be? Think about that for a second. I mean, do you have the energy you need? Are you feeling like you have You're getting everything done. You don't need naps. You're not all that tired. I've gone through it myself where I need naps and I feel like my energy's at a low. And yeah, of course, diet, exercise, that's the foundation. But if you really want to have all the tools at your disposal, proper supplementation is necessary. And I take chalk, and I've been taking chalk for months. And yes, I'm down almost 40 pounds. And yes, I've added 5 pounds of muscle according to the DEXA scan. And, it's getting better and better. I feel better and better. And proper supplements definitely a part of this package for me. And I go to Chalk, chalk.com, CHOQ.com. They say the proof is in the pudding. The proof is, you can look at me here. I'm down 40 pounds. Chalk, CHOQ.com. They make a whole range of supplements. I take the Chalk daily, which works to boost free testosterone, but there's so many great products there. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack, for example, that's a really broad spectrum approach for overall health and wellness. These are top quality products. The CEO of the company is a friend of mine and Clay's, a great American, a patriot based in Texas, and he wants you to be getting the best stuff. It's a mission for him. Chalk, CHOQ.com. Use my name, Buck, for a massive discount on any subscription for life. That's Chalk, CHOQ.com. Use promo code Buck for a huge discount on any subscription for as long as you have it.